This year has been a pretty rough year for shows that feature queer women in them, with so many being cancelled way too soon. I recently asked my Twitter followers about what Women Lovin' Women TV show cancellation has hit them the hardest, and I got so many responses. Like, it is ridiculous the amount of people that responded to it. I don't think I've had that much interactivity on a tweet for a while. So today I wanted to go through 6 Women Lovin' Women TV shows that were cancelled that hit me the hardest. Now, I wanted to give a couple honorable mentions like Wynonna Earp, Sense8, Motherland Fort Salem, and Gentleman Jack. Now, these shows I adore and was absolutely devastated when they were cancelled. But I didn't put them on my list for a couple reasons, because one, honestly, I could put like so many shows on this list, but this video would go forever. So I thought I would narrow it down a little bit. But also these shows, I feel like while I was devastated that they got cancelled, I feel like the way they ended, I could sit with, if that makes sense. So like, even though Wynonna Earp was supposed to have another season, like that 5th season got taken away from us, I kind of liked how we ended Wynonna Earp. You know, we ended in a really nice place with a way hot wedding. Like, it was really nice where we ended. So like, I feel like where we ended, I was okay with. Same with Sense8. Like, I was heartbroken by that because I absolutely adored Sense8, but at least we got like the movie to wrap it up. So I appreciated that. Motherland Fort Salem got season 3. Like, it was told season 3 was going to be its last season. So hopefully it wraps its season up nicely and it isn't left with like a cliffhanger and something. And while Gentleman Jack got like cancelled without much notice, or without any notice, I feel like I still am happy with where our Anns are at the end of the season. Like, it's a positive and hopeful future, like that, you know, we can imagine them heading towards. So yeah, I wanted to give them some honorable mentions. But enough with the honorable mentions, let's get into my list. And first on my list is, of course, The Wilds.
Lee, I'm sorry. Don't cut the threads that people are hanging by.
I'm so mad about The Wilds. I am so mad about The Wilds, and for so many reasons. First, because of like the wasted potential of season 2. Season 2 is the reason why it's cancelled. And that's what annoys me so much, because they set season 1 up so well. There was so much they could do with the girls, but they didn't listen to their audience and they took the show in a direction that no one cared about. We're left with an annoying cliffhanger, which honestly is not that far off the cliffhanger we were left with on season 1. Like, really, where did they progress to in season 2? You know, that's, again, Shelby and Tony are left, you know, not together. They're broken up. And the potential of Leah and Fallon, because that was hinted at. It's not in my head, I swear to God. The potential of Leah and Fallon that they hinted at in season 2 is never going to be explored. And I hate all the wasted potential that was in The Wilds. Next up is First Kill. Obviously, I got to put First Kill in here as well. It's another recent cancellation by Netflix. Again, First Kill were left on like cliffhangers. Calliope and Juliet are broken up and fighting, and there's like, there's so many questions and no conclusions, you know? One of the most frustrating parts of this cancellation for me is the why. Because we were able to track the viewership numbers, viewing hours I should say, and compare them to other shows that have been renewed, you know? Some of them have been renewed for 2 seasons even. So being able to compare those viewership numbers, and the numbers were good. They were good. They were on par with other shows that got renewed, and yet this one gets axed. It's just, that is so frustrating to me. They say it got cut down, like apparently because it didn't meet certain thresholds to be renewed. There's always a lot of talk about how shows are renewed and cancelled based on cold hard facts. And like, obviously that is a relevant part of it. Like, if a show isn't doing well, then they're not gonna put millions of dollars into it. But on the flip side to that, there is absolutely a part of the decision making that comes down to the taste and the wants of the person making the decision. Which is why we need like more queer women in those positions of you know, power and leadership within these companies that are making these decisions. Anyway, frustrated. The next show that crushed me was another Netflix cancellation, Teenage Bounty Hunters. Oh, this one hurt, man. This one really hurt. I loved this show so much. I loved the fandom. I loved the interactions that the cast had with us. I don't know. I just had a really fun time with this show. It felt like this had the makings of a great show. You know, it was funny. It had some like fun action sequences. You know, we dived into the dramatics of teenage lives, you know, the dating and all that sort of stuff. Like, honestly, what is not to love about Teenage Bounty Hunters? It was just such a good show. Unlike First Kill, we didn't have access to the viewership numbers, so it's hard to say like what kind of numbers this show brought to sort of, I guess, I don't know, like have some closure. I don't know. Like, I just want to know, you know, why these decisions are being made and not feel like they're bullshitting me. But I feel similar to First Kill with Teenage Bounty Hunters. I think it had like a big marketing issue, and Netflix had pretty much written it off before it had even aired and didn't promote it to anyone, didn't put the effort into it like it does its other shows that it renews. In terms of the couple, like Sterling and April, we were left again with a cliffhanger. They're fighting, they're broken up. Oh God, I hate it. Man, I loved this couple, like Sterling and April. I loved how they dealt with sexuality and religion, and there was just like, there was so much more to tell there with their stories. There was just so much there. Generation is the next cancellation that got me. It got me good. This show was actually top tier. Like, Riley and Greta have my heart. I relate to them so much. I really, really love Riley and Greta. Like, yeah, it's scary how much I relate to like both of them, and like, yeah, their situation. Yeah. Luckily, Riley and Greta weren't fighting at the end of the season. There was some hope with them. Like, they'd gone through some rifts within the season and they'd sort of come together at the end, but it was also kind of left on a cliffhanger with their stories. They left it on a cliffhanger that I was really, really excited for them to explore, where like Greta was going through a journey with her sexuality and seeing if asexuality was something that fit her.
When it comes to kissing or making out or whatever, I don't want that. The
storyline, I got really excited to see it, you know? It just felt like a storyline that we haven't seen before, or I haven't seen before, and I was so excited to see them explore that and see how that would work out with Riley. It was a storyline that I really, really wanted to see, and was heartbroken when it just got cut off. Like, again, so much wasted potential. Anyone remember when Katie McGrath played a lesbian vampire and then they cancelled the show after one season? Yeah, me too. Dracula is a TV show. I think it was released in like 2013, retelling the story of Dracula in London Victorian society. In the show, Dracula, who's known as Alexander Grayson, I think it is, becomes fascinated with this woman, Mina, who is like a reincarnation of his dead wife. Anyway, so Lucy is Mina's best friend. Lucy is played by Katie McGrath, and Lucy is fully in love with Mina. Oh God. I loved this show. Like, this show was actually such a good show. Regardless if the glorious Katie McGrath was in it or not. Like, I mean, Katie McGrath just like takes it on into a whole nother level, but the show was actually really good. So Lucy was in love with Mina. They had like a kiss, and Lucy had a kiss with like some other ladies. It was just a good time. It's a good time for any Katie McGrath fan. If you haven't watched it, I mean, I'm sure you have. Anyway, also wanted to point out Katie and Jessica, who plays Mina, they're like friends in real life, and they fully shipped Mina and Lucy. The possibilities of this show. So at the end of season 1, Lucy gets turned into a vampire, and because it was cancelled, we're gonna miss out on seeing her be this badass lesbian vampire that's just gonna have the time of her life. I'm just forever gonna be salty about that cancellation. The next show, I have no idea how popular it is. I mean, I guess not that popular since it got cancelled. But anyway, it was such a random show that like I stumbled upon and like had no idea about it. I hadn't seen any marketing about it, hadn't seen anyone talk about it, but I found it and I fell in love with it. The show is called The Rook, and I watched it here in Australia on Stan. I don't know where it released everywhere else. The show follows this woman, Myfanwy, who wakes up with no memory.
I need to know who I am.
And we follow her trying to figure out who she is, where she is, who's her friends, who's trying to kill her. She like wakes up surrounded by dead bodies. Like that's the opening scene of the show. I was like, okay, I'm sold. We also find out that like Myfanwy and some others have like supernatural abilities, and they're part of a secret government agency. It's just like it's a great show. But Myfanwy has this like incredible relationship throughout season 1 with Gestalt. Now, Gestalt, like Myfanwy, has a supernatural power. Gestalt is one person inhabiting 4 bodies. So they share this, the same mind, the same thoughts, all that sort of stuff. So it's not like 4 different people. It's one person sharing 4 bodies. It's weird to get your head around. So the 4 bodies is Teddy, Alex, Robert, and Eliza. The relationship was just so fascinating to watch. Yeah, but because of like the cautious nature of Myfanwy, not knowing who her friends are, who her allies are, who's trying to use her or whatever, because she was so cautious, we just barely got to explore that relationship in season 1, and then it got cancelled. But yeah, the show was just so, like, the show and that relationship was just so unique, and I really would have loved to see more of it. I really would. Ugh. I feel like this video just made me even more mad about all these shows that got cancelled, but oh well, I did it anyway. Let me know in the comments what TV show that featured queer women in it that got cancelled hit you the hardest. Yeah, let me know. I don't know why. Otherwise, I'll see you all in my next video. Okay, bye.